Hello everybody, back with another video. Forgive me if you can hear noise in the background. Stupidly I put the washing machine on just before I thought of doing this video. Yeah, so basically I haven't done an update on my Arrow video collection, I think about a year or so when I looked on my channel. Yeah, I've got quite a lot since then, so won't make it too long a video, so I'll just go through them and show them rather than talk about each one. Yeah, so I did have them all sort of sideways on. Then on this top shelf I had all my Second Sight 88 films and 101 films collection, but I moved that into the other room and now just made this all Arrow on this little section. Alright, so I'll get into it. So you move back a little bit so you can see it properly. So you've got Phantasm, the complete collection with all the films in. Ju-On, complete Grudge collection. Obviously that's like the Japanese versions, the originals of the Grudge. American Horror Project, American Horror Project 2. I think those were out of print a little while ago. Those are ones I got secondhand in CEX. I don't know what you call it. I just call it CEX. Then you've got the House collection. Then you've got this Arrow video. At the time, I thought it'd be real limited edition, and you wouldn't be able to get hold of it if you didn't get it then. But not only it's sort of for a little while they did a more basic version that just had them in the box without the slip and everything. But yeah, this seems to be not only back in stock on like Arrow Video website and Amazon, and I've even seen it in HMV and that, but it seems to sort of been reduced in price a little bit. So quite weird. Whereas some other limited edition ones like what's it called? City of the Living Dead. I literally didn't buy it in a week and just can't get it anywhere now. So yeah, some limited editions just go and other ones just seem to stay around forever. Then you've got the Hellraiser Quartet of Torment. I think there is a new one out, the tetralogy, but obviously no point getting that when I've got this one. Bit of glare on Psycho. It's actually quite sunny for once in the UK, but yeah, you've got the Psycho collection. Sorry, those two are on 4K as well. This is the most recent one I got, I think. I've already got this on the standard version, but I like the collector's edition. It's like a kind of book that opens up, quite a lot of like extras on it and stuff in there, like postcards and things. Yeah, it's like a really good modern gothic kind of, I guess it's a horror, maybe more like a gothic fantasy, kind of old style like Hammer. Really good like aesthetics and snow and the big house, good acting. Guillermo del Toro film, one of the better ones he's made since Pan's Labyrinth, I think. Sit downs for a rest. Vengeance trilogy. That's obviously Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy and Lady Vengeance. The other two are good, but Old Boy is one of my favourite films / foreign films ever. Then you've got Carrie on 4K, Invasion of the Body Snatchers on 4K, Children of the Corn collection. I don't think, other than the first one, which ain't great, I don't think the other ones are meant to be good, but got that real cheap in the Arrow sale for like 20 down from 45 or 25 or so it cost. But Yokai Monsters collection. That's some Japanese sort of monster films. Quite old, most of them in like the late 60s, I think. But then there's the remake by Takashi Miike, who's one of my favourite sort of Japanese directors. Then you've got House by the Cemetery. Sorry, I put my hand under it so I don't block it. That does come on 4K, but I think I just bought the Blu-ray at the time. Nightbreed, that's one I've had for quite a long time. Wolf of Wall Street on 4K. I think I got that one second-hand in CEX. Carlito's Way. This is a 4K. Phantom of the Mall. So I did have a standard edition, and when I picked that up quite cheap second-hand in CEX, I've sort of recently traded in the standard edition, so no point having two. So yeah, quite a lot down on these ones I did have on standard edition, and I've upgraded them since. So rather than have them sitting around in the collection, I took them to CEX. Some of them, well, I'll say this Videodrome, I'll talk about it properly in a minute. That does come with the, what's it called, like the early works of David Cronenberg. So because I had that on a version like this, I think they gave me like £10 trade-in. So yeah, I traded in ones that I've basically upgraded and used it to get more Arrow video ones. And there's some like Mega Drive games. Where was I? Robin Hood. That's not the 4K. Prince of Thieves, but I'm sure everybody knows that film. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's one of the biggest big box ones, actually. Hills Have Eyes, Part 2. I think I've actually seen this one yet. I've not heard great things about it, but Last Emperor, kind of surprised. A bit like Robin Hood, but especially with The Last Emperor, you know, Arrow usually release sort of cult films. So, yeah, quite surprised they released that sort of mainstream kind of world cinema sort of film. Naked Lunch, a David Cronenberg film. Really weird film. Wild Things. Seen that back in the day when I was a kid. I think it's got like Kevin Bacon and that in, but not... Is it Kevin Bacon? Let's have a quick check. I'll try not to talk about these for too long. Denise Richards. Neve Campbell. Oh, yeah, it's Kevin Bacon. Yes, I think it's a bit of like a... Not Scream. I don't think it's like a murdering film, but I think it's sort of someone gets accused of assault and things, and it sort of goes from there. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Really weird film. Johnny Depp in one of his better roles, I'd say, because I've never been a massive fan of him in everything. RoboCop. I've got this one front on because this is one of my favourites. Again, that's just Blu-ray, not 4K. Videodrome that I briefly spoke about earlier. Tremors, that one's on 4K. Thought I'd missed the boat with that one. Looked for it for ages and then found it in CEX in good condition for like £25 second hand. Tremors Aftershocks Part 2. I think they should have sort of kept it a similar colour or maybe like a sandy brown, but yeah, the green does look a bit weird. Necromantic 2, not really a fan of that film, but I do own it. I think I got it when it very first came out. Shram, which is made by the same guy that makes Necromantic 1 and 2. I think he makes Ostermontag and... I can't think of the name of the other one at the moment, but he's Jörg Buttgereit, I think he's called. He's like a German director, but yeah, he just makes like messed up sort of disturbing sort of splatter films. Demons 1 and 2 on 4K. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Basket Case on 4K, that's quite a new one. Behind Convent Wall, should I say. I think that's a Blu-ray, but that's a recent release, same as that Cold Day in the Park, recently came out. Beta Test, Sleep. Last House on the Left is on 4K. Actually, I should get all the 4Ks together. I don't have them in alphabetical order or anything. I don't really know what order I have them in, just usually sort of put horrors together and then the foreign ones together. Two Witches, Lover's Lane, not seen that yet, but I think that's like a 99 slasher sort of around after Scream, but you know, with all that kind of hype going on where they were making that I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend, things like that. I've heard good things about it. 16 Candles, John Hughes, who does Home Alone. Obviously all these are my slipcase ones. Shock, it's a Mario Bava one, not seen. Silent Running, Bruce Dern on a spaceship. Very futuristic, actually. It's addressing sort of planets dying and they make a greenhouse in the sky to save all the plants and flowers. So yeah, I think it's like 30 years ago, but it's ahead of its time in terms of like ecology and greenhouse effect. Yeah, one of my favourites when I was a kid. It's got 3 robots called Huey, Dewey and Louie. Don't know if it's anything to do with DuckTales reference. Flatliners, one of my favourite ones with Kevin Bacon. I'm sure everybody knows that. I think there's been a remake, but I've not seen it. My Stepmother is an Alien, Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger's comedy film. Take Back the Night. It's quite a weird one. It's kind of like, well, I won't go into spoilers, but it's kind of like a monster and you don't really know what it is. Wreck. I think that's one of the sort of, I say scary, I'm not in bed scared after, but whilst I'm watching it, it's one of the most intense kind of jump scares. Spanish found footage films, one of the best found footage films ever in my opinion. Let me move down a bit. Alright, try to be a bit quicker with these. Tale of Two Sisters, really creepy, well made. Korean, pretty sure it is. Don't Go in the House. That was one of the old Video Nasties. When I bought this, I expected it to be, you know, generic sort of Video Nasties, but it's actually quite good. Quite sort of elevated character study. Really well made. Some good special effects without going into spoilers. There's a sort of flamethrower bit, and they use in-camera sort of mirrors to make it look like the flamethrower's burning. Pitch Black, sure everybody knows that, with Vin Diesel. Probably the only Vin Diesel film I own or actually like. I don't like his stuff like Triple X and Fast and the Furious. It's all just Hollywood generic shit. Dream Demon, never heard of this one before, but it stars it's an English-British film. See if I can see it. What's his name? Jimmy Now, which used to be in Crocodile Shoes or something, I think it was called. Oh yeah, now I'm looking at the right bit. Gemma Redgrave, I'm assuming his daughter or niece or related to Vanessa Redgrave. Timothy Spall, I'm sure everybody knows him. Yeah, Jimmy Now. Yeah, it was an old TV show in the 90s called, I think it was the 90s. Crocodile Shoes, I think it was called. Pretty weird. And directed by Harley Coakless. Yeah, I was really actually pleasantly surprised at that. Don't know, I'd never heard of it. You could argue it's a kind of, not a spin-off, but, you know, inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's a much more grounded kind of, yeah, quite a surreal kind of film. But yeah, I'd recommend that if people haven't seen that. I'd say that's one of the most slept on British-made films other than Paper House, which I think Arrow should make a release of. This is one of the least favourite Arrows I've ever seen. Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway. Really nice slipcase in that, but the film, not only is it bizarre and all over the place, and not really in a good way, not really surreal, but it's got a lot of like mixed media, so it comes up with like pop art and bits of weird CGI. It is a film, but it's very interlaced with different media. So rather than just using, actual film or digital to film it, they just pop in loads of sort of random like pictures, and you'd have to see it really. I mean, if you're into weird films and some kind of substances, maybe you want to watch something weird, then that is a weird film. But yeah, I couldn't really get into it. The Woman, quite a disturbing film actually. I think it's directed by Lucky McGee. I'm sure everyone knows this one. Donnie Darko. Again, these are all Blu-ray, not 4K. I think they do a 4K of Donnie Darko. But The Guyver, Mark Hamill. Anyway, I'm not maybe talking too much about these because it goes on too long. I've already spoke about a lot of them in the updates and things. Waterworld, pretty sure everybody knows this, with Kevin Costner. Surprised Arrow released that. It's quite a big sort of Hollywood film. It was a flop at the time because it had such a big budget, but when you see the Ulysses sort of director's cut, it does make more sense. Not one of my favourites, but it's not as bad as it. Doesn't deserve to be as maligned as it is. Weird Science, classic 80s, Lake Michigan Monster, very bizarre. Has one really good jump scare in it. On the whole, it's not only a weird sort of low budget film, but I think it's in black and white. Lux Eterna, it's by Gaspar Noé. Next few are actually. So yeah, I saw the end of the slipcovers. Enter the Void, Climax, both Gaspar Noé films. I've got other films by him like Irreversible and I can't think the name of the other, but yeah, he's basically quite a disturbing kind of director. Hanged of the Baskervilles, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle novel. Seen this when I was a kid, but not watched this version. Edge of the Axe, kind of Spanish-made slasher. Heard it's quite good. Cruising with Al Pacino, directed by William. I can't think of his name. The guy that directs Exorcist. The Stylist. Was really surprised by this. Quite a modern film, but about a hairdresser. But yeah, really sort of good gore, good story. Yeah, I was quite sort of pleasantly surprised by that. Rollerball with James Caan. I'm sure everybody's heard of that. Major Dundee, apparently like a bit of a lower budget spin-off of like Indiana Jones, but like war style. Anthony Perkins in Edge of Sanity. Not seen that one yet. Flowers in the Attic. Used to watch that when I was a kid. Maybe shouldn't have been, but After Midnight. Not spoilers, it tells you on the back, but basically a monster keeps on coming after midnight, but it's more of like a metaphor / allegory for guy's relationship breaking up and like the woman being the monster that keeps haunting him after. Audrey Rose, again, never heard of this one, but a really good sort of British, probably late 70s, with Anthony Hopkins in it. Not really a possession film, but quite a creepy kind of spooky one. Dead End Driving, Australian film, really fun sort of cult film. The Mangler, that gets quite maligned as one of Stephen King's best, but I quite enjoyed it. The Wind, I think it's got Meg Ryan in it. It's about like a house in a storm. Creepshow 2, not as good as Creepshow 1, but I think Arrow did the Creepshow 1, but I never got it, and now it's impossible to get. Exorcist 3, one of my favourite films. Brad Dourif is like amazing in it. George Scott, really good. Harpoon is another sort of newer one, the same as Daniel Isn't Real. Daniel Isn't Real's got Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. Harpoon, quite a sort of disturbing film with twists and that. American Werewolf in London, I think it's my favourite werewolf film ever. Sure you know about that. Same as Candyman, directed by Bernard Rose. Pulse, not sure if it's Japanese, Korean, Asian cinema. Not seen it in a while. The Ring, one of the classic sort of creepy foreign horror films. Dark Water, I think it might be directed by the same guy as The Ring, Hideo Nakata. Can't really zoom in close enough or I'll get glare. Audition, one of Takashi Miike's most sort of weirdest film. Not really a spoiler, but starts like a sort of drama romance and turns pretty heavy stuff at the end. Happiness of the Katakuris and Terraformers are both more ones by Takashi Miike. Happiness of the Katakuris is just a bizarre, insane zombie comedy horror cannibalism musical, right? Yeah. Terraformers, not seen it yet, but I think it's a low budget kind of version of what do you call it? Starship Troopers. Sorry, my cat's coming in the frame. Police Tactics, not heard of that one, but picked it up in CX about a £5. True Romance, sure everybody knows that. Really sort of witty script, written by Quentin Tarantino, I think. Starring Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. Mega Time Squad, Australia, I think it's New Zealand actually, but some guy can basically teleport through time with his thing he finds and sort of fights people and that. Dune. So obviously I got this one on 4K. Oh, did I show it? I might have glossed over that one, but anyway, yeah, so I'm going to trade that one in. Now I've got it on both volumes. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, a classic. Black Moon Rising, I think that's written by John Carpenter. Starring, what's his name? Men in Black. I'll remember it in a minute. Right, I better hurry up now. The Sender, it's really good. Satanic Panic, a bit more of a recent sort of throwback film. Burnt Offerings, starring, what's his name? Oliver Reed. It's a really creepy film. Matinee, it's a Joe Dante one. Shivers is David Cronenberg. The Baby, oh sorry, I don't know if I was showing them properly then. Baby is quite disturbing. The Burbs, one of my favourite films ever. Another Joe Dante one, I should put them together. The Beyond, City of the Living Dead and Zombie Flesh, all by Lucio Fulci. Stormy Monday, not seen yet. Dark Blue with Kurt Russell. People Under the Stairs, one of Wes Craven's best films. Necromantic, that's that one by George Butgerett. 12 Monkeys, quite another surprising one for Arrow to release, with so many sort of big Hollywood action stars like Brad Pitt and what's he called, Bruce Willis and that in. Ronin, sort of modern day sort of crime samurai film with Robert De Niro. To Live and Die in LA. It was a bit more boring than I thought it would be actually, but I'm sure everyone knows the Tupac song about it. The Thing, probably my favourite film ever. Big Trouble in Little China, another one of my favourite John Carpenters. Crimson Peak, so I'll be trading that one in now. I've upgraded it. The Burning, one of my favourite slashers, better than Friday the 13th in my opinion. Evil Ed, really surprisingly good. Sort of slept on kind of monster film. Kolobos, I think it's Greek, like a Greek kind of version of like Saw crossed with Scream. Sort of slashery film. Phenomena, one of Dario Argento's better ones. Weird film. Eaten Alive, I think that's Toby Hooper, but not watched it yet. Lords of Chaos, about the black metal band Mayhem and when they were burning churches. Quite sort of disturbing. We Are the Flesh, I think that's a Mexican film. Again, meant to be pretty intense and graphic, but not seen it. Blade of the Immortal is a steelbook. I think it's Japanese or Korean, pretty sure it's Japanese. King of New York, sure everyone's heard of that, with what's his name? Christopher Walken. Oh, Abel Ferrara, but that's a Driller Killer, makes that. Hell Comes to Frog Tank with Roddy Piper. I found that a bit boring. Andromeda Strain, I think I used to watch that when I was a kid. It's like a sci-fi sort of PG. Madman, another one of the better slashers. Day of the Dead, everyone knows that, I'm sure. Class of Nukem High. Trauma film. Deep Red, Dario Argento film. Picked this up quite recently, secondhand in CX, and quite hard to find these original white cases. I think it is missing the manual and the like booklet and the postcard things, but still happy to get that for about £8. Then Society, I think I've said this before, but starts like a Beverly Hills 90210 kind of weird film with some weird undertones, and then it's all about the sort of special effects near the end, and I think it's called The Jaunt or something they do. I won't go into it because it's a spoiler. And then I've got this, picked up second hand for about £20 a while ago in CEX, The Game. So it's on DVD. Michael Douglas and David Fincher, I think, directs it. He does Seven and that, and like in a big book. So yeah, that's all my Arrow ones now. So we'll keep getting more. I think there's a few coming out this month. So yeah, I do get a bit of FOMO with them. I'm like, if I don't buy them now, then you might not be able to get them. And it's not like I try and buy all of them, but some good releases do come out that I have missed, like the City of the Living Dead. Right, thank you for watching, everybody. Be back soon. I think I'm going to do a ranking of my favourite / scariest found footage films. I'm just waiting for the second sight release of it's called Dugong Haunted Asylum to come out. So I've not seen it, but I've heard that's one of the better ones. Right, thanks for watching, everybody. Like and comment on that if you got anything to add about these films or anything. Right, thanks, bye.